Hello and welcome in today's new video when we talk about how to make scores for beginners. In this video, it's all about how I made the soundtrack for the track called Chasing Cars, and I want to invite you guys coming with me and see how it's done, which plugins I used, and how it's finally made. I would recommend you to watch the video before watching this video so you can hear how Chasing Cars does sound like, and I place the video in the video box down below, and I would say let's just jump right into it. So here we are in the command and control center. We have one monitor with the transport panel where I have all the MIDIs and all the audios and everything. Then we have the mixer section, which actually is now every single track in a row. But if we have more than 20 or 30 tracks, it makes more sense to show this one, because now I have access to solo and mute to every single track right now. And then on the top window, I have the equalizer, but mostly it's the video section, because actually for now we have a video here. It's the Westworld video, and we just take this in front. So now we have the access to the video section. I will just place it. I think you have watched it, so actually you know what's happening. We have the opening sequence, and I wanted to say I'm sorry, the audio is crackling sometimes, so please be patient, because the workload now is almost more than 100%. So I might have some problems with the MIDI sound, but it shouldn't be as bad as doing no video. So let's just jump right in.
Verified. Enable semi-automatic control. Disable safety features. Maximum speed. Go.
So, and there you can see a marker. The marker always helps me when first watching the whole clip, which is here about 4 minutes. Markers are helping me get the key scenes. So as we have here, the marker directly is on key when the camera switches to the tires, and that was very important for me because I want to have an action part when you see the tires and they're spinning. And then we have the second part, for example, where the camera from the outside chase gets inside the car. These are all things I imagine a soundtrack while watching this, and I set the marker when I want to stop it or start it or do something. So as you know, we have the start section, and I started it with just a simple synthesizer which rises up in volume. Well, that was just a synthesizer. And then we have a bass drop. That was important because I wanted to have a bass drop when the bullets are hitting the car for the first time. So to get this kind of a scare moment. And then we have a third, okay, the second one is not a synthesizer, it's just a drop. But then we have the second synthesizer, which is massive. I love this synthesizer. And this is where the distorted part is coming up. And there's also a filter running right now. And the filter, you can see it here. I just made this on. The filter for massive, which is loaded here. I just bring that online. Okay, it's not massive, I'm sorry. It's called massive. It's just to to make jokes of myself. This is Aina 2 from Sonic Academy, and we have a filter from kilohertz there, a pitch shifter to make it more dark, and a faturator. This is what gives it the distortion. Right now, let's have it here on the massive section. Where is it? Here it is. Here it starts. Let's just plug it here. Good work. Yeah. So without the faturator, it actually sounds similar, but I wanted to have it more crispy and more dirt, and that's why I added everything else in that section. And I'm a big hater of too high frequencies. That's why I almost cut the super high frequencies out and make it a clear high section. Okay, now we have the first part.
Verified.
And then the next,
Enable semi-automatic control.
the rise
Disable safety features.
starts,
Maximum speed. Go.
and the action part strikes. So, what I did is simply tuba, trombones, and horns together. Let's just take them. That's just simply the rise up. Nothing special. And then we have a strike at the camera change. And my favorite part, the drum rhythm, which is running here. And if you see here, or you can see here, an effect configuration of a compressor, a 3-band equalizer, and the action strikes. These are the main instrument in the whole piece. Action strikes are always here. You see clearly I have raised the high frequencies just because I want to have the drums more I'm sorry. I want the drums more in the focus. If we delete it, it sounds cool, but it's not so sharp. And that's why I deleted the high. That's, for an example, why I delete high frequencies on instruments where they're not so necessary. Of course, you should do this all the time, but I get asked oftenly, why do I cut most of the high frequencies? And this is just to make space for instruments like that, because it's important that they are through the context. So far, we have the action strikes. They are played by myself because I started with something like... just a second, I need to find out where it is, where we are. Yeah, that's where we are. I have here something like a sample pad, a machine micro sample pad. I just turned the camera a little down, I hope it's enough. And I just have the idea and I was like, okay. Something like this. And that's very important for me. I really want to have a pad where I just can try the percussion section, because I don't like it to play on the piano. So it's just the cheapest machine pad. I know it for years now, and I just say, come on, it might be helpful sometime. And yes, it is helpful to have it. By the way, all the companies I call, I'm not sponsored by them. It's just because I like working with their hardware and their plugins, and that's why I just say the names of the companies. Okay, let's continue with it. We just make the drum rhythm quiet, and we have a piatti, of course. That's like paired with the bass drop, or the bass hit. It's just something dark and spacey and high and everything. And then we have the percussion start.
Go.
So, but our main instrument, what I really love, is definitely the bass. So we just, okay, I'll dock it now down here, and we look at the bass. I use most of the time, I use the string ensemble from Sound Iron. It's part of the Complete 12 Ultimate, Complete 12. With an equalizer, which actually it does not do anything. It's just because it looks great here. Anyway, so, and we have the basses. You clearly hear that bright and harsh sound. It's not something like a beautiful warm bass, a contrabass, double bass, whatever you call it. It's just a harsh ostinato, and that's why I have here the dynamic, because okay, it's dynamically controlled, but if I take the down, it sounds cool, but it needs to be hard, and that's why it has these aggressive sound, this aggressive dark sound. So, and now we pair this.
Go.
Sorry, no.
Go.
And the percussion section is playing right now the same as the basses in articulations. But we also have the viola section, which is giving the accents here. And down. Now with the violins, let's go. And down again. Perfect. Good job, VST plugin. Okay.
Go.
That's the complete section here. And something really important, that crazy curves here, these are modulation curves, because I think it's absolutely useless to sit all day here and control your mod wheel, and that's why I have an automation for it. And this might be very interesting for all the Reaper users who are not very familiar with how that works. It's absolutely easy. You insert a new virtual instrument on a new track, and we place, for an example like now, contact with strings, the cellos right now. So we'll just place it completely down here to make it clear. So now we have now an easy section of cellos, but now I want to control it. I make a new track and place it underneath the main section, and I set this one. What I have now is when I set the input to MIDI, I can control it from the down section here, not from here. And then we load a plugin from Cocos, which is called RIA Control MIDI. And we enable the control change and set it to the mod wheel in raw mode. Now we have the MIDI from 0 to 127, and we're able to control with this curve. So you hear the audio crackling, isn't it beautiful right now? So, and now I just have to set the points and set this to a read automation, and it's done. And that's the key to make an automation in Reaper. I needed a long time to find out how this works, and that's why I totally needed to tell you, because this is a so important thing. Nothing is more silly than programming on the MIDI lanes the velocity. You have a complete synthetic sound. Just give me a second, I want to drink.
5 minutes later.
Okay, let's go. Okay, now we found out how the automation worked. And yeah, you can see the marker with slow. So, what can we hear?
What's happening to me?
Okay, a lot of stuff is going on right now. We go to the slow part and take a clear sight. What's happening? Of course, we have the basses playing the ostinato with different accents. What happened now is we have one main velocity, but accents. This is the accent. High. And that complete is sound like this. Alright, so, and it's all on one main velocity, but the accents are excluded. That's also a thing what I really like. You have a main velocity here, and you can change it, and it overrides that mod wheel curve here. If I want to say for that part now, I want to make individual accents, because it would be absolutely idiotic if I need to find out which eighth note or triplet needs to be placed here, and I need to do a lot of weird stuff, whatever. Okay, we have basses. What do we have more? Let me just look at the curve. We see this sad man going crazy below. We have a core. It doesn't sound like a core, but I like the effect. Let's find out which one was it. I'm sure it was from the Sound Iron. It's the Olympus Core Micro. Just go into it. And let's just delete the top window and just place it here. We have we have one layer and they're saying Dominum. Do they really say this? Okay, they truly say Dominum. It's a very, very dark thing. It's hugely not understandable. It's nothing like a normal core. It's more an FX. And that's why I chose it, because a normal core or something was wrong on that place. Okay, what do we have? We have the horns bent down. This is something like she's looking at him. Is he going crazy right now? And that's why the horns should give the transition to her face. Okay. So far so good. It's very easy. It's nothing very special. And we have a transition. Higher tempo. That's the ostinato from the front, but now played in just staccatos and not as a long ostinato which is running the whole time. It's just accents. With the drums, of course. And crossover. This is actually also the start. Just to change the beat a bit. Now we have the rise and hit for the first time, which gives a transition. Okay, let's have a look at the rise and hit. We take... here it is. Find it. That's a rise and hit. I love this plugin so much. Rise and hit is a very cool thing because it always gives you the ability to make high, mid, or low transitions and bring one scene to another scene. We just take the original plugin and we can see here the curve, what it does. And I really wanted something orchestral, an orchestral rise and hit. And I definitely wanted him because we have the tension moment. So for me, the video is showing. It's now a crossover. And now we have the long distance. You have the camera from the long distance. You see the cars are coming through the curve. And this is beautiful. This is a beautiful shot. And that's why we have this massive transition to get this huge picture. Okay, that's dump again. And we have the that's now the idea, the one ostinato from the start. Add it with something like here we have it, the horns right now. Let's just listen. I picked the horns because they have something airy and spacey inside them. And I wanted to take advantage of that bird perspective, the down looking from the high side. I don't know how it's called in English. But I want to have these top-down perspective, and this is also a very great shot, and that's why I take the horns and nothing else, because it sounds very, very airy. By the way, it's also the horns from Sound Iron. And we have a crossover, and now it's something very special, because now we are going into the gun part. And this is a beautiful part, because now we take advantage of electric plugins, more electric, I mean synthesizers and everything. This is now very important. So we have again a transition, You see? It's a rise again. And for here, I wanted a rise and hit, which actually is kind of electric. It's like hybrid. And it's not to continue. It shall stop here in the middle, because it should lift you to somewhere and then stop. And that's the part where the opposite of it, where the guitars are striking. Are they here? Yes, they're here. Okay, let's have a look. It's a rendered version. There's a guitar. Let's see what we used for the guitars, because it's so long ago. I don't know what I used. Okay, we have the STL Tonality Will Putney suit. It's a huge guitar amp sim. Loaded is a lookalike of a Riedl VH4 with a faturator, a ladder filter, a phase distortion, Jesus Christ, a crazy equalizer, and a tuner. Okay, the tuner is not useful right now. Okay, we just have a listen at the clean section. Very easy. Beautiful. I can't hear anything now. Perfect clean guitar tone. And we just start with the pure amp. This is a very, very, very bad sounding guitar amp right now. It shall not be sound real or something. It needs to be synthetic. So we have the spaced weapons here. And because they are unrealistic weapons, we have an unrealistic guitar tone. Now we placed a faturator. And this sounds now very, very strange. A ladder filter. Of course, to cut off the high frequencies. The phase distortion. This actually makes it more short. It cuts some frequencies out. And then we have the equalizer to make it completely weird. And cut off all the high frequencies of that note, which is here. We want to cut it. That's the left side of the guitar. And then we used the right side of the guitar. Let's see, we have also the STL Tonality Will Putney suit with a Riedl VH4. We have the faturator, the ladder filter, and everything sounds like the same, but the settings are a little different. Listen. The left amp. Okay, I need to compare it with pure sound. The right one has less highs. Am I right? Almost a bit. Okay. So for now we have full equalized and everything is on. Full plugins. Okay, they're almost the same. And for now, we go back and take a closer look how it supports the video we see. Just delete. Okay, what we clearly can hear now is the use of damage, one of my absolute favorite plugins from Heaviosity. It's a damage loop. Let's mute it first. And you hear the basses are playing another rhythm. They play something else.
Is that an issue?
No.
It's not. Okay. And now let's listen closely to damage, what had happened. And this is the part where it gets very, very easy. The second part now is more of loops than everything else, and that's why this is called for beginners, because if you have the right plugins, you can start easily making great soundtracks, in my opinion. Okay, let's have a look here. We have a damage in the LPS Industrial full section, and we have taken the D5. Beautiful lows. I love the sound of damage, really. Then we have a filter to cut, again, the high frequencies out. Because that's what it would truly sound like. Okay, it's crazy settings here. In the section we have a hard compressor here, and the tone is completely out of place. That's why we use the filter. I want a completely out of placed damage 2, and then a filter which makes it more accessible for the ear, so it makes it more softer to listen to. Okay, let's go. I just let it go. Okay, that is a beautiful moment. We have now the violas. This is a hard crossover, but you almost don't hear it. It's because we have a complete transition, actually without any 16th note between. But that's a thought. Okay, what I really saw is that the drop here, that's why it's called a drop. The drop hits... Where it is? Where's my drop? Here it is. The drop hits here. I want, when she's crushing the window out of the car, that there's a bass drop which leads us to the next scene. You will hear now what I mean. Which one is placed in solo? The violas. And then again we have a chasing car. That's why the track is called Chasing Cars. We have the basses again, which playing almost the staccato part from somewhere else in the front. But now we take advantage of huge synthesizers, and that's the part which is very funny right now. Okay, we start. We have the violins with violas and basses. Okay, and we have horns. Very easy. It's again a programmed high and down. It's just something like a slow crescendo and going back. Then the part with the fun starts. We have a damage loop again. It's can feel it. The bass of the damage plugin is supporting the main accents of the bass and the violas. Okay, now we listen to it closely. Okay. Then we have another damage loop. And this one is sounding very crazy. First of all, we have a filter, but on the main section, we have another filter or another equalizer. This and that one, we just cut all the frequencies up to 446.5 hertz. And I don't want to bring this online right now. So you know, see, we cut all the low frequencies, and here we cut the high frequencies up to 11.9 kilohertz. And both of them. And that's now the advantage of cutting low and high frequencies. Both damages itself would cut each other, because the first loop here, the damage loop 1, has a very, very low section, and I don't want it to have. I just want to have these, what is these, sticks, drumsticks or something, on metal or something, which makes this high. And I just wanted to have the high frequencies, but I have not found the loop somewhere else at that time, and so I just choose to take a filter and cut the low frequencies out and make it a little synthetic. That's what we have here. And of course, it would not sound as great without synthesizers. This is now without the electronic. So now you hear we have a damage. We have 3 damages now. We have the high loop is going all the way through. The low one is stopping here where the other one starts. Actually, it's just the first one on steroids. Because the first one just have the bases. And the second one is placed over it. But now you see the volume is getting lower. And if we say we want to see the volume curve, yes, we have a volume transition from -16 to -23 decibels. So it's getting quieter. But now let's take a look at my favorite part, the synthesizers. I love them. So that's the first thing, the massive one. Let's see if this is this time truly a massive. Yes, it is. It's a massive, a normal massive. What we see here, let's bring that up to the top. Nothing very special, just something what the basses would also play. But that's the first one. Then we have the second massive. Actually playing the same. I just pan it 1 to 100 right and 100 left so you can compare them. Left side is very dark, and on the right side we have the same notes, but with more crisp and more fat and more distortion and something, you know, more fuzz. And these both are perfect for the low end. And now the volume, another volume. That's again a changeover at the damage. I just picked it because we can now see where he's getting out of the car. Synthesizers are going through. But for now, you can see on the violin section, first of all, we just have the easy ones here at the F4 on the bass note. And then we have an 2 sections. So if you take the violins and cut them in half, one half is playing the F5 and the other one is playing the F4. Actually, it's just an octave away. Of course, the horns again. Now bass drop. And the second part, we start with a damage loop 4. This is now something from the mangled pop section of damage, because I want to have something sounding very upbeat. And I tried this loop with a drum set, but it doesn't sound so good because this one is sounding very synthetic. This is a fat bass drum, a fat snare drum, and a very electronic cool loop. And it really gives you this, it's moving forward. And this is something special for that scene right now, because of course I could score the chasing scene now as in the start with a low basses going on, but I don't want it. I want to have the electronic part here. And of course the synthesizers are rising up. We have a massive X number 5. Oh, I love that so much. This is actually very basic. Second one. You hear no lows. And here, almost no highs. This third. This is the melodic part. And the melodic one got a second. Got an individual. Where is it? It's this one. You see the curve going down, and it stays on the high section. And that's what the missile is going back to down. It's going back downside. And we go to the marker number 16. This is where the missile is changing its route. So, what do we hear? Okay, this is a very simple part. Actually, the basses are just playing a decrescendo here. A very easy one, nothing special. And the cellos continue the rhythm they played. But now we have two massive X's, new one. This is now a cool stuff. I think it was this one, yeah. You can see here it's going upwards. This is a clear cutoff. And then you just have up and down, up and down. Where it's chasing the car. Okay, let's take the second one. No, that was it. Here. Very experimental. It sounds very when you listen to it without context. So this one is just, I call it the lead one, and this is the mid one. But because we have a bass still going on. This is the bass root it's playing. And then we just switch to another damage. Here. It's pop again. You can see it's moving forward. Something like a drum set. And then we have the melodic part. This is where the viola and the horns. Are playing. Combined with the electronic stuff. And of course the basses are playing the bass line. And now we have a transition. We have another massive. No, I'm sorry, that's not massive. It's the massive stem I copied to the cellos. With a slow get higher. This is the loops playing a sonata again. Okay. That's what the violins are playing right now. Let's keep one more. We have the violas. This one happened again because they play one octave. Right? No. I'm wrong? No, I'm right. Okay. Then, horns. But just a short one this time. A damage. This is now backwards. This is now something like a half-time percussion section. And of course, synthesizers. And this is the pattern that the synthesizer is playing. nothing special. But a combination of all the things make it very bright and make it very huge. And for me, I think this sounds absolutely perfect. I love listening to it. And this one was now clearly damaged. That was definitely damage here. This is so everything. This is everything combined. Crazy, crazy, crazy. A break. Completely strange sounds. Completely crazy percussions mixed together in a crazy range. Drop again. But this time it's faster than the first time. And we have the crossover. Again, the marker 24. Because I want to make a difference between the car section and where the car is moving forward. You can see it on the downside. So I'm pointing with my finger. You can see with the downside here on the car is moving forward. Actually, this is like a little replace to the car sound. Massive X again. I work a lot with Massive and Massive X. And now, slow cellos.
Why the f are we stopping?
Get down.
And one of my favorites, again, Thrill. Not again, but one of my favorites, Thrill. Love it. You see, this is the curve. And there is the stop. So, Thrill is a very cool plugin to experiment with. I will load this. And we have, of course, a filter. And let me guess, we have a low pass. True. Okay. So this is Thrill now, okay? So Thrill combines two sounds. And you can access them when moving your cursor around. Why don't I hear something? No. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Maybe that might be because the audio is damaged. Yeah, it's the audio. I'm sorry. Okay, let's just... What's happening here? Okay, I'll show you here. There's something. Now. Oh, what's happening? Come on. Now. Anyway, this is the curve. It happens when the X fader and the Y fader are going in the same position here. And you can see this crazy curve. This is because I did it with the mod wheel. I don't want to take a point here and there and make a straight line up here. I just wanted to play a little with it, and that's why I just took the mod wheel on my keyboard. And you can hear the rise. The basses are rising, and I heard some brasses here, yeah. And strikes. And everything at the... Actually, the absolute end of a track could be anything. Bring in the piatti, bring in the basses, timpanis, everything. Bring everything and make a loud strike there. Okay, this might be damage. Yeah, this is damage percussion. It's cool, but that's something interesting. I just made here, as you can see, a 7/8 count, because that hit should strike when the car is driving onto the motorcycle. because you really hear in the original video, you can hear the same, and I just try to double it with the music or with the musical instruments to make it more aggressive and bright and crazy. Okay, so that was a little insight in how I did the score for Chasing Cars. I hope you're still watching, and I'm happy that you're still watching if you do, because I don't know for how long I was talking, I don't know what I've said, but I hope it was not too much of bullshit. Sorry for that word. No, let's go. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching the video, and just hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, or please leave me a comment. What can I do better? Because actually, I just sit here and try to talk about the score. Nothing really big prepared. So I might forget something what's important for you guys. So just write it down in the comment section, and I will keep you updated, and I will answer you. Also, I make live streams on Twitch sometimes, where I make live something like this here. I make scores live and directly talk to you guys how to work with it. And I thought, what about some plugin reviews? So if I use the Massive X and show you through some presets and something, would you guys be interested in seeing this? Or do you say, nah, I don't want to, I just want to hear music. So I just try to expand my channel and work a bit further. Okay, so far, I thank you again for watching, and I hope this was not boring. I hope you learned something, and if not, not my problem. No. If not, just hit me up and we'll find a solution, or I make a new video, or I talk more deeper about the plugins. So, but for now, I say thank you and have a nice day, nice night, whenever you're watching the video. We'll see you in the next time.